Hello and welcome back. So in the previous episode, during on this Blue Flamingo strategy series, we found that we've talked about a couple of ways that you can stand out from the marketplace, especially if you're just starting out. One of the strategies we talked about is process, how you can use a unique process to actually stand out from the marketplace. The second strategy we talked about is contrast, using two different, totally unrelated items and using them in your personal brand to establish yourself or your expert business. Those are the two ways. So this is just continuation from the previous series. If you haven't actually started the series, I highly recommend that you actually pause this episode and go back and actually watch those episodes. And then from there on, you can actually continue on with this episode. So for this episode, now for the strategy of this episode, we're going to talk about ZAG. Z-Z-A-G. So it's not something new. It's not like some German kind of word. It's pretty much what happens. I'm sure most of you know of the phrase zig zag, and so with no relationship to the book, just by the way, but the whole idea behind the zag is pretty much going against the grain, going against what people would expect, doing something or doing something in a way that is contrary to what is currently acceptable in the marketplace. It's pretty much being different. Pretty much zagging. When everybody else is zigging, you are pretty much zagging. So that's the whole idea. Now, I'm just going to give you some simple examples to kind of what this means, and how you can use it in your own business or in your own expert business. And so, a pretty clear picture of this is it's more like contrast, yes, but it's a bit different, whereby you're doing things where people would normally not expect you to do them, or you're actually doing things that are normally considered, or society considers them as taboos. In a sense, taboos. I'm not talking about doing anything weird, but just things that are contrary to nature or the status quo. And so for this one, one idea here is, assuming you're going on a train and then everyone else is dressed at 8 a.m. or 7 p.m. or 7 a.m., whatever time you actually go for work, or that most people go for work, and then can you imagine when you're going on your bus or your train or whatever, or even your car, and then you find someone who's dressed like a Batman, a full-grown adult who is dressed like Batman and also going to work. Now, some of these things would actually make you pause for a second and actually think twice about it. Or you're like, is this guy okay? Is this guy okay in the head? Or, you want those kind of reactions when people in the idea of zag. That's pretty much the whole idea. Another example of this is I'm reminded... Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm reminded by God about the story of Legally Blonde. Now, I don't know how many of you have watched that 2001 movie, but it's about a girl. So the whole idea about the movie is when Elle, a sorority queen, is dumped by her boyfriend as he plans to go to law school, she enrolls in the same school to win him back. However, she discovers that there is more to her than her looks. Now, while the movie is totally a nice romantic comedy, not that I like those kind of movies, but just some of the movies that I happened to watch when I was growing up. Now, however, the whole idea of it is because how she is zagging when everyone else expects her to zig. And so you find that she is a fashion and makeup loving blonde who's actually doing law school, is going to Stanford Law. And so you find that is something that is contrary to what people would expect. And that is the reason why she stands out like a sore thumb. And so you even find that even her time there, she wears pink, everything she owns is pink. She goes to the law. She goes to court as dressed in pink, and so she pretty much stands out like a sore thumb in an area, or in a setting or an environment where people expect you to wear kind of business suits and dark colors, and have a serious attitude. You have a frown on your face, and all this other kind of things that are expected. And so the idea of zag is doing or going contrary to what people would expect you to do, and that's the whole idea of zag. Now, in terms of a company or in terms of the business setting, this is something that I've come to see lately in the marketing scene, whereby a lot of the times you would find some of the most valuable information when it comes to marketing or learning about marketing is usually under a gate of $1,000, price tag. And so you'd find to access, you want to learn how to do social media marketing, you have to pay about $1,000 or $2,000 to actually learn how to do it. You want to learn how to grow your business. There's a price tag, a huge price tag. There's a coaching price tag, and so there's a mentorship price tag. And so everything is between a huge paywall for you to actually access that kind of information. And so one idea or the trend that I've currently seen, Yes, one idea that I've seen is people actually going against the grain and actually giving away their information for free. And so you find like the guy that I talked about in the previous episode called Alex Hormozy, you find that he's actually giving most of the information away for free. The whole idea is when you get to, he's helping you go from zero to like $3 million. And then from there, you might possibly want to hire him and his company to help you grow from $3 to $10 million and even upwards. And so it's not for free in technically whereby you're paying right now, but you're going to pay later. If you like the information he's giving you and it has helped you in one way or another, you feel obliged in one way or another, or even feel a pull towards actually going for that guy because of the kind of relationship that you've built and having him, and since he has already helped you to get where you are to the point whereby you need to now to scale or to grow between from $3 million and upwards. And so you find that is just one example. Another example is this group where I'm in called Nothing Held Back. It's on Facebook, whereby you find the guys giving away a lot of free information, teaching you how to think, teaching you how to do marketing properly. And, and he's doing that in the hopes that when you succeed in the information that he's giving you, you might want to subscribe to a higher or a paid plan whereby you can get even more valuable but at a price. Because he's not doing this for free, he also has to eat, and, he has his own goals and ambitions and whatnot. And so this is another idea that I've seen whereby it's about going against the grain, going against what people would normally expect, or going against the status quo, or going against the trend of your industry or of your market. And so one thing you can think about is whatever niche or whatever market you've chosen, what is a common trend? What direction do things tend to flow? Is it, whether it's in the process or in the customer care or in the service delivery, whatever it is, you need to find an area whereby it would be okay for you to go against the grain and still have a money-making model whereby you're still able to kind of recoup the returns, at least, even if not immediately, in the future. And so that's the whole idea behind the zag kind of philosophy or the principle of becoming the blue flamingo. So when people zig, you zag. And that's where one way of standing out in the marketplace. So for the next episode, we're going to talk about the stories, how you can actually differentiate yourself from a story. Let me know your thoughts about this episode in the comment section below. If you have any other examples that you might want to share, I'd love to hear it from you guys. If you've been doing this already in your own business, let me know how it's worked for you. And, I'm just eager to hear from you guys as well. So that's it for this episode. See you on the next episode. Bye.